My beloved child. From the very first moment you clicked on this, something invisible shifted around you. You may not feel it yet, but stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not random, not common, and definitely not meant for everyone. There is a truth connected to you that has been quietly observed for a long time. A truth connected not to your words, not to your actions, but to the way you present yourself to the world. The way you dress. The way you choose colors, shapes, simplicity, or boldness. You believe these are just personal choices, harmless, unnoticed, easily forgotten. But someone noticed. Someone very close, or someone who watches from a distance, has been hiding something important about you. And they hide it not because it is small, but because it is powerful. The moment you understand this, you will realize why certain people behave strangely around you, why some compliments feel incomplete, and why some silences feel louder than words. This is not about fashion. This is about perception, influence, and an unspoken reaction that your presence creates every time you enter a room. Listen carefully now, because this part matters more than you think. The truth being hidden is not negative. That is what makes it even more unsettling. Someone sees how the way you dress changes the energy of a space. They see how eyes pause for half a second longer when you pass by. They see how confidence appears on you even on days when you do not feel strong inside. They see how your appearance sends a message before you ever speak. And instead of acknowledging it, instead of respecting it, they bury this realization deep inside themselves. Why? Because admitting it would force them to confront their own insecurities. Admitting it would mean accepting that you possess a silent authority. The kind that does not shout. The kind that does not beg for attention. The kind that simply exists. And this unsettles them. So they pretend not to notice. They downplay it. They change the subject. They act as if it does not matter. But deep down, they are aware that the way you dress reflects something they cannot control. Here is where the story takes a turn that most people never see coming. The person hiding this truth has already made assumptions about you. Not based on your character, but based on the signal you unknowingly send. They believe you are more aware than you let on. More intentional than you appear. More dangerous to underestimate than others realize. This is why their behavior toward you feels inconsistent. One moment supportive, the next distant. One moment curious, the next defensive. They are fighting an internal conflict. Part of them admires the discipline, the taste, the restraint or boldness in your appearance. Another part of them feels exposed by it. Because your presence reminds them of who they are not becoming. Your style reflects clarity. And clarity is threatening to those living in confusion. This is the hidden truth. Not that you dress to impress, but that you dress with an alignment that reveals who you are becoming. Now pause and think about this carefully. Have you ever noticed how certain people subtly try to influence how you dress? Suggesting changes you never asked for. Questioning choices that feel natural to you. Laughing it off as jokes. Masking discomfort as advice. This is not coincidence. This is not care. This is control disguised as concern. They are trying to soften the impact you naturally carry. Because when you dress in alignment with yourself, you become harder to manipulate, harder to label, harder to predict. And people who rely on predictability feel unsafe around you. So they hide the truth. They never tell you how your presence actually affects them. They never admit that you command attention without demanding it. They never confess that your appearance challenges their self-image. Instead, they keep quiet. And silence, in this case, is not empty. It is full of meaning. What happens next is something very few people are prepared for. The longer this truth stays hidden, the stronger its effect becomes. You may feel moments of self-doubt that do not belong to you. You may question your choices without knowing why. That is the weight of unspoken perception pressing against you. But here is the revelation that changes everything. The truth does not lose power because it is hidden. It multiplies. And when it finally surfaces, it changes relationships, dynamics, and self-awareness permanently. This is only the beginning. Because what they hide about the way you dress is directly connected to what they fear about your future. And in the next part, you will understand why this silence around you was never accidental, and why recognizing it now puts you several steps ahead of everyone who underestimated you. Before you dismiss this as coincidence, understand this one thing clearly. What is hidden from you is not hidden because it is harmless. It is hidden because revealing it would change the balance of power between you and them. Someone has already realized that the way you dress is not accidental. It reflects self-respect, awareness, and a quiet refusal to shrink. They noticed how even your simplest choices carry intention. They noticed how you never look misplaced, even when you feel uncertain inside. And this realization frightened them. Because once someone understands that you are intentional, they also understand that you cannot be easily influenced. So they stay silent. They act normal. They keep this truth locked away, hoping you never become fully aware of the impact you already have. But awareness has a way of waking up when the time is right. There is a deeper layer most people never talk about. The way you dress creates expectations before you speak. People project strength, independence, or depth onto you without asking your permission. And the person hiding the truth knows this. They know others take you seriously even when you stay quiet. They know your presence changes how conversations unfold. That is why they feel the need to control the narrative around you. They may subtly label you. They may try to define you in simple terms. Not because it is accurate, but because it makes them feel safer. A person who cannot be easily defined feels powerful. And power, even silent power, makes insecure minds uncomfortable. So they keep pretending that nothing is happening. But inside, they are constantly calculating how you are perceived. Here is the moment where everything connects. The truth about your appearance is tied to how people imagine your future. They sense growth around you. They sense movement. They sense that you are not meant to stay where you are. And instead of celebrating that, they fear being left behind. Your appearance becomes a reminder that time is moving forward. That choices matter. That alignment shows. And this is why some people distance themselves without explanation. It is not dislike. It is comparison. Your presence mirrors possibilities they ignored in themselves. So they hide the truth. They never say, "You inspire me." They never say, "You intimidate me." They never say, "You remind me of what I avoided becoming." Silence becomes their shield. Pay attention to this next realization. The way you dress is not about attracting attention. It is about expressing clarity. And clarity unsettles those who live in uncertainty. The person hiding the truth sees that when you dress in alignment, you do not seek validation. You move differently. You listen differently. You choose differently. And this makes you unpredictable in the best way. People cannot control what they cannot read. That is why they wish you would dress differently. More average. More muted. More forgettable. Because forgettable people are easy to manage. But you are not forgettable. And that is the truth they are trying to suppress. Now understand this carefully, because this is where your power begins to return to you. Once you see that the silence around you is intentional, you stop internalizing it. You stop questioning yourself. You stop shrinking your presence. You realize that nothing about you needs permission. The truth they hide loses control the moment you become aware of it. And awareness is already forming within you. This is not about changing how you dress. It is about understanding why it already works. And in the next part, you will see how this hidden truth directly influences the choices people make around you, and why some doors quietly open for you while others close without explanation. There is something crucial you must understand now, and this is where most people miss the signal completely. The person hiding the truth about you is not confused. They are aware. Fully aware. They have already noticed patterns you have not consciously tracked yet. They see how people adjust their tone around you. They see how respect appears without being demanded. They see how assumptions form before you even introduce yourself. And all of this begins with the way you present yourself. Not loud. Not exaggerated. Just aligned. That alignment silently communicates standards. And standards make people nervous when they are unsure of their own. This is why the truth stays hidden. Because admitting it would mean admitting that you operate on a different internal level. What they never tell you is how often you change the emotional temperature of a room. When you arrive, conversations shift. When you leave, the atmosphere settles. This is not imagination. This is perception responding to coherence. Your appearance sends a message of self-awareness that reaches people before logic does. And the one hiding the truth has felt this many times. They have sensed how others notice you. They have sensed curiosity forming around you. They have sensed unspoken respect growing. And instead of acknowledging it, they minimize it in their mind. They tell themselves it is nothing. They convince themselves it does not matter. But their behavior betrays them. Because they watch you closely. Not out of judgment, but out of comparison. Here is the part that changes how you see everything. The truth they hide is not only about how others see you. It is about how you see yourself when no one is watching. The way you dress reinforces identity. It anchors you. It reminds you of who you are choosing to become. And the person hiding this truth understands that if you ever fully realize this, you will stop seeking approval altogether. You will move with certainty. You will make decisions faster. You will walk away sooner. And people who benefit from your hesitation fear this moment. So they keep quiet. They let you underestimate yourself. Because underestimation keeps you accessible. Notice how this silence creates subtle tension. Compliments that stop halfway. Support that feels conditional. Advice that sounds helpful but limits your expression. These are not accidents. These are reactions to an unspoken understanding. They know that your presence carries weight. They know that your choices signal direction. And direction exposes stagnation in others. This is why some people feel uncomfortable celebrating you openly. Your alignment highlights misalignment around you. And that contrast is difficult to face. So the truth stays buried. Not because it is false, but because it is too real. Now take this final thought with you into the next part. The moment you stop questioning why people react strangely, and start understanding that your presence triggers self-reflection in others, everything shifts. The hidden truth loses its grip. You no longer wait for validation that was never coming. You become aware of the influence you already hold. And once awareness locks in, it cannot be reversed. In the next part, you will see how this unspoken truth quietly shapes opportunities, loyalty, and distance around you, and why your future has been unfolding differently without you realizing the reason. There is a silent consequence to all of this that few people ever connect. Once someone recognizes the influence you carry, they begin to make decisions around you without informing you. Not openly. Not directly. Quietly. Opportunities are weighed. Conversations are filtered. Distance is adjusted. And all of this happens because the way you present yourself signals readiness. The person hiding the truth knows this. They have seen how others take you seriously without explanation. They have watched doors open for you in subtle ways. And instead of acknowledging it, they frame it as luck or coincidence. But inside, they understand that your alignment communicates capability. And capability shifts dynamics whether people admit it or not. Here is what makes this even more intense. Your appearance creates a boundary without words. People sense limits with you. They sense that certain behaviors will not be tolerated. They sense that respect is required. And the one hiding the truth feels this boundary clearly. They know they cannot approach you carelessly. They know they must think before speaking. And this awareness unsettles them. Because boundaries force accountability. So they pretend not to notice. They downplay your presence. But their actions tell the real story. They hesitate where they once rushed. They reconsider where they once assumed. That hesitation is not accidental. It is a response to the signal you send. There is also a reason some people step back as you step forward. The way you dress reflects momentum. It suggests movement, growth, and intention. And momentum exposes those who are standing still. The person hiding the truth feels this contrast strongly. Your presence reminds them that time is passing. That choices accumulate. That alignment shows. Instead of confronting this reality, they choose silence. Silence allows them to avoid self-examination. Silence allows them to keep their comfort intact. But silence does not stop the effect you have. It only delays the moment they must face it. Understand this carefully. You are not responsible for how others interpret your presence. But you are responsible for whether you honor it. The truth they hide is that your appearance reflects leadership energy. Not authority. Not control. But direction. People instinctively follow direction. They trust it. They respect it. And this is why some become supportive while others become distant. Both reactions come from the same source. Recognition. The one hiding the truth stands at the center of this conflict, watching you evolve while pretending nothing has changed. Take this with you as you move forward. Nothing about your experience has been random. The reactions, the pauses, the unexplained shifts all trace back to an unspoken understanding. You carry presence. And presence changes things. In the next part, you will see how this hidden truth influences trust, loyalty, and unspoken expectations, and why some people test you in subtle ways before revealing their true intentions. There comes a moment when silence stops being passive and starts becoming strategic. This is where you are now. The person hiding the truth has shifted from observation to calculation. They are no longer just noticing how you present yourself. They are measuring how much influence you carry without effort. They are watching how people respond to you instinctively. And what unsettles them most is this. You do not chase reactions. You do not adjust yourself to be accepted. The way you dress reflects stability, not performance. And stability is powerful because it cannot be shaken easily. This is the stage where people either align with you or quietly move out of your path. What they never say out loud is that your presence creates expectations. People assume you will rise. They assume you will handle responsibility. They assume you will not settle for less than what fits you. And assumptions like these create pressure. The one hiding the truth feels that pressure deeply. Because once someone like you is recognized, mediocrity around you becomes visible. So they test you. Subtly. With silence. With delay. With half support. Not to help you, but to see if you will dim yourself. If you will change your expression. If you will soften your presence to make others comfortable. This test is not about you. It is about whether they can remain comfortable around your growth. Here is the shift you may not have noticed yet. Some people are already placing quiet trust in you. They listen more closely. They value your opinion even when they do not show it. They watch how you carry yourself under pressure. And the way you present yourself reinforces their belief that you are reliable. This is the truth being hidden. That your appearance communicates consistency. And consistency builds trust faster than words ever could. The one hiding this truth understands that once trust forms around you, influence follows naturally. And influence changes hierarchies without permission. This is why reactions around you feel delayed. Praise comes late. Recognition arrives indirectly. Support shows up quietly. These are signs of recalibration. People are adjusting their expectations of you. And the person hiding the truth feels the ground shifting beneath them. Because once expectations rise, old dynamics collapse. You are no longer seen as optional. You are seen as inevitable. And inevitability makes people either prepare or retreat. Silence becomes their last defense against admitting what they already know. Take this final understanding with you. You are not being watched because you are weak. You are being watched because you are becoming undeniable. The way you dress is only the surface signal of a deeper alignment forming within you. And once alignment stabilizes, nothing remains hidden for long. In the next part, you will understand why some people suddenly change their behavior toward you, and why the truth they avoided revealing is now approaching exposure, whether they are ready or not. There is a point where hidden awareness turns into visible change, and this is where everything accelerates. The person who stayed silent can no longer maintain the same posture around you. Their tone shifts. Their energy adjusts. Their behavior reveals cracks. Because the truth they avoided acknowledging has grown too large to contain. Your presence now triggers immediate conclusions. People sense direction when you speak. They sense intention when you move. And the way you present yourself confirms it before logic has time to interfere. This is why reactions become sharper around you. Admiration becomes clearer. Resistance becomes louder. Silence becomes uncomfortable. The truth is pressing outward, demanding recognition. What is unfolding now is subtle but irreversible. People are no longer deciding whether to take you seriously. That decision has already been made. They are deciding how close they want to stand to your momentum. Some move closer, seeking alignment. Others step back, protecting their comfort. And the one who hid the truth feels exposed in this shift. Because their silence is no longer neutral. It is visible. Others sense it too. They notice who supports you openly and who hesitates. They notice who acknowledges your presence and who avoids it. And in this moment, the hidden truth begins revealing itself through contrast. Here is the realization that changes how you move forward. The way you dress has never been about appearance alone. It has been a declaration of self-trust. And self-trust is magnetic. People feel it even if they cannot explain it. The person who hid the truth knows this now more than ever. They see how you no longer wait to be recognized. You act as if recognition is optional. And that independence unsettles them. Because it removes their influence. It removes their ability to shape your perception of yourself. And once that power is gone, silence becomes irrelevant. Notice how clarity sharpens around you at this stage. You see intentions faster. You feel alignment sooner. You sense distance before it becomes obvious. This is not coincidence. This is awareness catching up with reality. The truth that was hidden has been shaping outcomes all along. Now it simply has a name in your mind. And once named, it cannot confuse you anymore. You stop personalizing reactions. You stop seeking explanations. You understand that presence always provokes response. And your presence has grown stronger. Take this final truth with you. The silence around you was never emptiness. It was recognition waiting for exposure. And now that exposure is happening naturally, without confrontation, without force. Just clarity. What comes next is not about proving anything. It is about choosing where your energy belongs. Because once the truth is visible, you no longer stand in uncertainty. You stand in direction. And direction changes everything.